my goodness. Team No Sleep, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening with you, brother? God, dog it.
Man, good to be alive. Good to be 6 feet over instead of 6 feet under.
Man, I love that.
Rest in peace to my man X, DMX, big
Oh,
influence.
brother, we done
Man,
lost
I
another champion.
lost another one, man. You know what? I hope he's in a better place, better state. For his well being as well as for his family. I hope
Hmm.
everything works out for him. But I mean, the man was definitely an influence throughout my whole sports career and many others. He's the hype man, get you ready to rock and roll and get down. So
you,
rest in peace, X.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, we know exactly what songs we were playing of his at every stage of the game. Yeah, that man was
yeah,
definitely, unfortunately, had them demons.
yep,
I got
yeah.
some challenges with, I know this. Not even sports, right? But we're gonna get into that since we talked about it. But hindsight's 2020. I just wish that the hip hop community had just rallied around the brother just a little bit earlier when they knew
hmm
there were some things going on. But we did get blessed with that versus between him and Snoop. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
so good. That was so
That with
good.
him and Snoop, man. I mean, like you said, the hip hop community. I wish they would have. Wish they weren't so selfish.
Mm.
Let's be honest, selfish in the sense that they didn't have the opportunity to rally around him, and then when they did chance to, it was too late.
Yeah.
I also think the accountability part. I think hip hop as a whole needs to take a little bit of responsibility
Mm.
for these things that comes along because we're not only just losing these one guys that's to the streets and these onesie twosies, we're losing greats. To
Yeah.
dismiss to just frivolous things they shouldn't be passing away from from whether it be drug overdose or violence in the streets or whatnot. We need to. I think the hip hop community is now we're maturing. We've been around for now 35 years. We should be a little bit more mature about how we move and maneuver. But I mean, you know what? All that comes with time, man.
That's
All that
true.
comes with
That's
time.
true. And the lesson learned, folks. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of our
Yeah.
family. Take care of our extended family because we all need it. I love what Laura just said. Hold on, let me throw this on here. Laura said, "Check on your people," and
Always.
that is a good statement right there. But
Yep.
Team Don't Sleep, brother. We talk about sports. We talk about
Man.
the social impact of sport, which
Yes.
can be
Yes.
a very interesting conversation. It's been a minute since we got together,
Mm.
since we had a conversation. I see you 1943 JWH. That's senior right there. We
There
we
you go.
we
I
see you,
see.
brother.
Salute always.
Man, a lot has happened since we got together. A lot has
Yeah,
happened.
man.
I know we got our list of topics, a couple of things
hmm
on there that I may pivot on, but
Yeah.
I want to get the audience in here as well, right? Let's have some discussions. Let's go ahead and slow it down. Let's get focused.
hmm
Let's see what folks want to talk about. There's a lot of things going on today, a lot of things going on this week, next week, but let me start with you. So let me set that precedence out there, right? So hopefully the folks that are listening and watching will contribute and put in any types of questions that they may have they like us to address. I'm no expert.
hmm
Montel is the expert. I'm just here. I'm just here working behind the scenes. I'm the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, right? That's
no,
all I'm doing.
don't say so short, man. I'm just opinionated. That's all. I'm not an expert. I'm definitely opinionated.
And we need that. And
And
we
and
need that.
and, and have some set ways. Yeah. So, but I mean, for the greater good, like I said, set the tone, man. Let's start where you want to start, and let's rock roll from there.
Let's start in the middle. Let's start with some slightly positive. I'm
Okay,
rocking UCLA. God dog it, UCLA was close
man.
with the tournament. My daughter goes there, so we Bruins, man. We that
Hey, but you know
game
what? Hey, that game
that
was the
game
best. That was the best game out of the tournament. Period.
that
That game. That was the baddest. I mean, that should have been a championship game. I felt.
bruh.
The competition was there. The level was there. West Coast was represented big time. Whether it
Yeah,
was Washington and California, the game was the most exciting game we've seen in a long time. Everybody was out of their seat. I mean, it's very rare that you see a game go down to the last second in overtime,
literally.
and the guy. I mean, he made a great shot. I mean, it is what it is. The man made a great shot, but I'm saying, I think that was a platform for West Coast college basketball that everybody in the country was standing up watching and
That's a
seeing us at our best.
that's a good point, right? So
Yeah.
literally, we're emotionally tied to the school. So me and my daughter, my wife, we sitting there watching the game. There was silence for probably 10 minutes afterwards because I just looked at her and I was like, there was nothing that I
Yeah.
could say. Uh, my man hit that shot, which was off the hook. I didn't expect
Mm,
it to go. You were hoping for some overtime, but the fact that the West Coast was represented nicely in the
yeah.
tournament, and again, that was probably the best game that, from a college perspective, that we've seen in a long time. A lot of the old analysts said the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
This
instant
this game
classic. It was.
this game just had everyone on their seats and high
Hmm.
energy, not a lot of interference from officiating. Right, so
Hmm.
they just let the boys play. There was a lot of physicality, but they
Yeah.
let the boys play. But to be honest with you, I don't think that I'm a Bruins guy, but I don't think UCLA would have fared any better if they had made it
Against
to the end
Baylor.
game. Because
Yeah.
Baylor, let me tell you something, them Bears, them
Man,
Bears.
I mean, I think Baylor's team was full of athletes, and I don't agree with you or disagree. I
Mm,
think that Gonzaga game and UCLA game took so much out of either team emotionally.
okay,
That going a day later, with a day's rest, happy that we won, but got to prepare for the next team. I don't think either team would have just been ready. Not that it wouldn't have fair. I think if all else slates and everything's clean, I'm not saying Baylor wouldn't win, but I think it would be a different kind of game. That game, that UCLA game, Gonzaga game, took so much
true,
emotions
true.
out of the fans. I mean, I was tired after the damn game, and I'm not even playing. Going
you
up and
didn't
down,
even have to
cheering.
suit up.
I'm tired and I'm rooting. I mean, my son, we in there rooting, we jumping up and down.
Yeah,
So the game was so emotionally draining for each team. Whoever Baylor was going to play, they was going to have the up advantage because they blew their team out. They blew Houston out. I
yeah.
forgot who they played. They
Um,
blew them out. I think it was Houston. Was it Houston
I think it was
or
Houston. Yeah, I think it was Houston.
yeah?
Yeah,
They blew Houston out, and then they were just sitting back, basically waiting. I mean, I don't know if anybody just plays sports. I know a lot of people play sports, but if you're in that competitive game and you're on those emotional highs, lows, and everything in between, and for you to just when you win, you only get an hour to celebrate or 2 hours to celebrate. Now I got to prepare for the championship. That's hard. That there's no. You're still reminiscing and saying, "Man, I can't believe we won that game." Lucky shot. You're still trying to grasp wrap your head around that, and then now we got to go and play this team, and this team was a juggernaut. So I don't think emotionally they were both on the same level. I think Gonzaga was exhausted, and Baylor was at a high, and
yeah.
Baylor it showed in the game. It just
That's
showed
true.
in the game.
Yeah,
And no disrespect Baylor. Baylor, I think they might have won anyway. I think they're a great team. I'm glad Texas won. We're still kind of somewhat on the West Coast, or at least on this side of Mississippi. But I mean, I believe that emotion just took so much out of either one of those teams going there, that it was going to be a hard feat for everyone. But back to your point, West Coast basketball from the Sweet 16 on up, we was representing strong. Pac-12
yes.
showed, I believe they showed that they're the elite conference now for college basketball if we're going to base it off the tournament.
So isn't that
Um,
crazy though? Because that has never been, well, that hasn't been the case for a long period of time. So
oh,
so tell me about that, right? Tell me about
yeah.
that whole dynamic change, right? So we've gone from the Syracuses and the Georgetowns and
Yeah.
some of those. So now we're looking at what we're looking at UCLA. We're looking
Yeah.
at all these left coast teams. Talk to me about that from your
I
perspective.
believe Gonzaga set the tone for that. I mean, let's keep it real. We used, like you said, it was the Big East at first.
Hmm.
The St. John, Syracuse, Georgetowns. Then it migrated down to the ACC.
Hmm.
Wake Forest, North Carolina, those guys. Then it kind of migrated a little bit more to the South. Where we had the Houston, the Fly Sandwich Jam, and all them. And now with the dynamic and the platform kind of even out with everybody leaving early and all that, I think the small schools like Gonzaga, St. Mary's, they kind of set the tone to graft those kids for 4 years and run programs. I
Mm.
believe the elite programs are like, hey, we can do that with some more elite guys that can play. So now the Oregons you see are doing it. You saw the Oregon States doing it. You saw UCLA, USC. Hopefully the Arizonas get their stuff right together to go. I believe I believe the Pac-12, man, is we have so much talent on the West Coast, and we migrate with a few of those boys from the Midwest and everything that want to come out to the West Coast and now participate. 'Cause Suggs, for Gonzaga's from Minnesota, a Midwest boy, he came over to Gonzaga to play to do his thing. So now they're starting to migrate where they were trying to migrate back east. I think they're
Hmm.
now starting to migrate back west, and now the competition is getting good. Competition is getting better, and I think we're definitely representing ourselves in the tournament. I see a
Crazy.
repeat hopefully next year. Oh, it's a repeat next year.
You
And we
think
can't
so?
forget about Stanford, the little girl, the girls. I just say
Man.
I don't mean to say little girls. That's sorry, that was
Hey,
right there.
y'all saw that was
Girls.
him. I ain't got
Yeah,
nothing
that
to do
was
with it.
me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
I
to say
can't
little
edit that
girls.
out. We live. I can't edit
But I
that out.
mean, the girls. I caught myself though. So, but the girls tournament, man. Shout out to Stanford for winning.
Yes.
They got. I mean, and I don't know if anybody watched their game, but I'm so proud of of girls basketball, women's basketball at the collegiate level, where they took a negative and swung it to a positive. Where they had the big fiasco with the weight room, they got that resolved, and they were able now to put their game on the national platform. They were the team that they were the star on that Sunday of the primetime game on Sunday on ESPN. It wasn't a men's game; it was
That's true.
the women's
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
So they're starting to get their shine, and I'm very proud because I don't know if anyone watches basketball. If you don't mind, if all you want to see is dunks, men's is the way to go. But if you want to see execution in basketball,
Yeah. If you want to see
women's
some
basketball
skill.
is the lick.
Yeah.
Women's basketball is the ticket because they execute to a T. They got true ballers out there, man. I'm just very happy that they're getting their shine, man. I hope
Yeah.
it just continues.
I love. Hey, I've been a fan of women on the women's side too ever since the Monarchs, the Sacramento Monarchs. It's too bad that they're not still around because I've gone to a number of their games and just the atmosphere in the room is completely different as well. Not just the team, but the whole crowd is behind the game. So I love that. But yeah, Stanford came through and did what they needed to do. So shouts out to Stanford out there for doing they thing.
Absolutely, man. We got one of them titles on the West Coast.
Yeah. Breaking news. Moving on to the next thing here. I was trying to see about the Masters because that's a conversation that's happening as well. The Masters just wrapped up. Hideki Matsuyama from Japan won.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Long time wait. Japan has never had a winner of the green jacket. This man came from, I'm not going to say nowhere, but this man came from the middle of the pack and just now clinched the title and is putting on his green jacket right now. The first male golfer from Japan to win a major championship. Gotta love that.
Didn't his back nine yesterday set the record? He set a record for back nine he had no bogeys. Everything was either par or above, right? He said his back nine everything was a par or above.
Yeah, he was balling out. Everyone else was slipping and sliding in the rain, right? Falling down the hills, bogey, double bogey, doing whatever, right? Just not playing like I play. But Mr. Hideki was over here trying to win.
Yeah. Shout out to the man.
Think about this: the ramifications behind it. Yeah, he's got his green jacket. Yeah, he's got the title. But I've heard rumors or I've heard statements upwards of billions of dollars that he is now going to start becoming the recipient of. Just again because him being the very first, him doing it so well. He only won by one stroke. He was 10 under, and U.S. player Zalatoris was 9 under. Spieth was 7 under. So, it was close. They closed the gap. But, again, he won, what's this, $11 million was the total purse. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But I think listen, I agree with they're saying. Remember what Tiger Woods did for golf for African Americans?
Yes, that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going.
He opened up a whole new door.
Yeah.
Now this man is the first Japanese. I think he's native Japanese or Japanese American to be able to open that door now for their community. For now, not only in that country, in Japan, he's going to sell crazy. He's going to sell crazy here, and I'm so happy to do it because with all this stupid racial tension going amongst the Asian community, I'm glad now they got a champion. They got somebody they can put a face on. They got a hero they can kind of look at to now. This competing in the sports world. I'm all for, man. Kudos to, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I don't want to hack it up, but kudos to the man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning the Masters. I love that title, the Masters, because he's running it now in golf. So
I always love the Masters when Tiger won it. God damn it. But hey, this dude, Hideki, 25 years young. He's been close. He's been so close a number of years. I kind of watched some of his history, but he finally got over that hump.
Hmm.
And no controversy, no nothing.
Yeah,
Brain issues yesterday, and he came out and balled out. Everyone
he
else fell down.
yeah.
Man, you got
I'm
to give
I'm,
him
te-
props.
I'm almost positive his back nine set a record because he had there's no bogeys. He said everything was in par or above, and that's never been in the back nine in the Masters. And that's how he made his big. They made his big mark, if I'm not mistaken. You might not have quoted me on, but I thought I was reading that. I read that this morning somewhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I was trying to
he,
check on the news, but
the, man, good for him, man. I'm so happy that he won. And again, remember, it's been a dark cloud over the Asian community, man, with all this violence.
yeah.
This is a ray of light, man. This is a
Hmm.
ray of light for them. And I'm so happy that they got something positive to look at. And like I said, somewhat of a role model to the youngsters in that Asian community, especially for Japanese. It's a win-win all the way around, I believe.
So let's talk about that. So let's bring in the social impact, right? So we can that's what we talk about. And
Yeah.
and again, we'll typically see the NFL. We'll typically see the
Hmm.
NBA kind of rally around their stars when there's social injustice and there's social issues that are happening. Now,
Yeah.
I think again, it's unfortunate, but it's a perfect storm, right? Again,
Hmm.
Hideki has won this major tournament. Is now going to be ESPN all night long. He's going to be on
Hmm.
CNN just for the fact of who he is and what he has done. I
Yes.
would love to see golf, which is typically a non-inclusive sport, non-inclusive type of environment, try to
Hmm.
wrap around and bringing some positive light to what this man has done at this particular time as well, right? I would love
Yeah.
to see I'm a Tiger Woods kind of marketing campaign with
Yeah.
Hideki, right? To
Yeah.
again rally and bring up some positivity, especially for the youth, because the youth are always should be at the forefront of our conversation to make sure that they're doing well. So I would say we challenge the golf society
Hmm.
and the golf community and whoever his new marketing and
Yeah.
sponsorships are, because your boy is going to get him some
I,
yen. He gonna be
I,
okay.
and I hope he's prepared to kind of take that role as well to be
Yeah,
that
yeah.
figure. He's young, so I'm sure he's young and he's got a lot of energy and he's got a lot of enthusiasm about doing things like this. I hope he's willing to take that face
Hmm.
because it's a face that's very much needed in that community. I mean, they're dealing with a lot, man. We got to remember the president of the United States blamed them for the virus, not
Yeah,
Japanese per se, but the
yeah,
Asian community, period,
yeah.
which has sparked all these violent
It's
acts against
horrible.
them. I would hope that the PGA would throw some money behind that, and this young man is ready to be in the forefront and be an advocate to stop the violence against Asian communities and welcome them in all our communities. Man, they just like us. They're people just like we are.
That's it.
They want the same things we want. They want the best for their families. They want to be able to provide for their families, and they want to be able to live a happy life. Same thing all around. All around. I hope this young man is ready to take that face and let them know that, man, everybody embraces them, and stop all this nonsense against their
Stop all
community,
this
man.
nonsense, folks. Y'all
Yeah,
better pay
man.
attention. Brother Montel is over here preaching to y'all. Stop all this
Man,
nonsense.
that's just
Let me. I need to take a break. Look, first of all, let me tell you something. Again, I told you this behind the scenes, but it's hectic. Your boy, I'm sweating and been
yeah.
driving around all over the Sacramento, trying to do some things for the kids. Uh, I'm drinking. I normally don't drink while I'm. Yeah, I do. I want to say while I'm live, but folks, how y'all doing online? Talk to us.
Yeah.
We got obviously some more things that we want to cover, but again, we want to engage. We want to slow the pace down. We want to actually have some engagement with folks. This isn't just a PTI kind of thing. Pardon the interruption, or a real
Yeah.
quick hit.
Don't get don't get them no plugs, man. They don't need no extra plugs. They need to be plugging us.
For real.
No, I truly believe, man. I just believe that we got to, as a society. I'm glad sports is kind of that glue that holds communities and societies together.
Mhm.
Something that we all rally around as a culture at least in the United States, even around the world. We rally around sports, and I believe there's always pivotal moments. And like I said, this young man has won the Masters, being young, being Asian, being of Asian descent. He's about to be embarked on a platform. And like I said, I hope he's ready for it. But he can make change. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. He can actually make a change
I
in
just
the
thought
way
about
people
this.
view things.
I just thought so.
You
The
know,
Olympics are in Tokyo.
Yes,
You know, opening ceremonies, folks. Mark my
yeah.
words. April 11th, 423. James Hicks said it. He will be carrying the torch at near the end of the opening
Hmm.
ceremonies. He will be probably the guy who literally lights it in the string of
Yeah, and
folks. So this is that big. This is that
yeah,
big,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's in a position to make change. Like so many other athletes are. But this guy's really he's embarked on something new, man, and I'm excited for him. I hope he takes the sports world by storm, and just changes the narrative, just like Tiger did for us.
Yep.
For
Yep.
African American people, when he took over our story, it changed the narrative. I ain't never seen so many brothers want to play golf when Tiger was playing
Look, I
golf.
got me some. I got me some clubs. I picked them up 2 or 3 times.
And some shoes. Yeah, yeah. And man, I'm a hacker. I tear the golf course up. I'm no good.
I'll
But
be out
but
there swinging
I would
like I'm swinging a baseball bat. I don't know what I'm
yeah,
doing.
I would never go out to golf if it wasn't for I'm be listening for
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. I mean there was a Pete. Pete was before Tiger Woods. Uh
Mm.
Golf Calvin Pete. Calvin Pete was a golfer before
Okay.
Tiger Woods,
Okay.
African American. He was there first, and then Tiger Woods, won the Masters. But like I said, those guys are pivotal, very pivotal in rallying and making change. Man, whether he wants to or not, he's about to make a change that's going to affect his whole entire Asian community, Asian American community,
Yeah.
or whatnot. Because he won a sporting event, he's going to be the face of it. So salute, man. I'm
Yeah.
can be more proud.
That's true. That's true. And speaking of Tiger Woods, there was some more news that came out about his accident. The brother, at least he wasn't drunk, right? At
Mhm.
least he wasn't doing anything he wasn't supposed. At least he didn't have no substances in him or on him or whatever case. But he was speeding. Okay,
Mhm.
the brother was speeding, so you know better. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I,
But I mean, does he? Let's be real.
yeah.
Why does he have to face public scrutiny for basically speeding? He lost control and he crashed. He didn't crash. He didn't hurt anyone, but himself.
Yeah.
He had the potential to hurt someone, and I get that. But I'm pretty sure he learned his lesson now that he's lined up in the hospital with these casts on and all that good stuff. But why does it?
He's facing scrutiny because he's been in this same situation before. That's
But
why we all cringed when we heard, oh no, Tiger Woods got into another accident. Oh
yeah,
my
but I
God.
mean, he was like you said, he was. I mean, he said he wasn't out.
Yeah.
There wasn't alcohol. There was no drugs involved. There was nothing. He was probably tired trying to head home in that windy hill area,
Mm,
lost control, speeding, and crashed the car. I get that. But let's be honest, there's been many athletes of a lighter shade
yeah.
that's
Done
done
more.
things like this, and they're not in public scrutiny. They're not in the public eye like that. They're not crucified like that under the media. Or there's not always like, we got to investigate what's going on. Man,
Hmm.
the man had an accident. He suffered from his injuries. Let's move on.
Yep.
Because there's more important issues going on in sports than Tiger Woods crashing his car.
Okay.
Let's let that man heal.
Okay. Okay. You seem like you want to deviate now. You want to go deeper into
Nah.
the agenda. But I completely agree with you. But I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
bring it up because I like to instigate conversations and
Hmm.
I wanted to get opinions out from that perspective.
Yeah.
We started with some good news. We started with some decent news. We started with some positive stuff. We got a lot of bad news going on too, brother.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
world of
yeah,
sports, let's go ahead and stop and be serious for a minute. Phillip Adams,
yeah,
he was cornerback for the 49ers for a number of teams. I think he played for
yeah,
6 or 7 teams.
yeah.
This man has had something going on definitely in his life. He went out and killed a number of folks, 6, 7 people. I think I just saw a story that another individual who was at the scene actually lost their life.
Hmm.
Robert Shook dies from shooting by ex NFLer Phillip Adams, so that's the 6th victim to die. And then he shot himself, right?
Yeah.
So then Phillip Adams shot himself. What's going on now? I believe the family has decided to turn Phillip's brain over to science to
Hmm.
see what happened, right?
Yeah. If CTE,
Trying to get some insight in terms,
yeah,
from head trauma and things of that nature, right?
yeah. If CTE was affected his situation, I hate to kind of like the late great Junior Seau.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
dear Met him before once. I know his
Okay.
family.
Okay.
Junior, may his soul rest in peace. But I mean, we didn't know that those things were going on with Junior at all. The
Hmm.
symptoms and everything, didn't know. The CT has came so far since Junior's passing, and they were able to do with him. Hope that they can find something that was going wrong with Phillip Adams to see if there was an issue with CTE or what was causing him to act erratic like this or be depressed or whatever his emotions were going that way. And that's not an excuse for what he did.
Yeah.
I believe, and this is my true belief. I'm not sure. I don't really care if anybody likes me about it, in my opinion, or not on this one. But if you're smart enough and are thoughtful enough to go buy a gun, then you're thoughtful enough and smart enough to face the accountabilities when you use that gun in the actions, especially in a part of a crime. So I would never say that his situation excuses him from what he did, but it kind of gives us more insight to maybe why, and what's causing these things to happen. And it's happening a lot in a lot of football players. The NFL excuses a lot of these young men from getting treatment because they don't pass a certain protocol, even when they're having ailments or situation like that. I think that needs to open up and make sure these young men are able to get help they need. Remember, because you play in the NFL doesn't necessarily mean you're rich. So that doesn't mean he has access to any doctor or anybody he wants to. He may need help in order to get that information he needs and get the help he needs in order to solve those things.
That's a good point that you make there, right, brother? Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Everyone comes into the sport at the professional level, has funds, and they have whatever. But again, he was 32 years old when he passed, when he shot himself here now. But not everyone, again, has all of that access to some of those advanced services and things like that. And hindsight, again, being 2020, could we have seen this ahead of time? Were there signs? How many times did he have a concussion? Right? How many times did he get that jarring hit to the head, or whatever the case may be? But I'm just going to read, unfortunately, the tragedies of this. So a doctor and his wife, 70 and 69 years old, their grandchildren, a 9 and a 5-year-old, were found dead inside of the home, while James Lewis, 38, who was also working at the home, was shot and killed outside. And then they found Phillip Adams at his mother's house with the self-inflicted gunshot wound. So,
I mean, God rest. God,
yeah,
please bless those families that are affected by this. No one deserves this. No one does that. And the man was wrong, 100%. Phillip Adams, whatever the situation is, whatever he was, he should have been. I wish he was able to deal with it in a way that was amicable or civil, and not have to he felt needed to resort to violence and do those things. But again, if CTE was the cause of it, which we don't know, but if that was the cause of it, I would hope the NFL would open up a little bit more so these young men could get some help that they need. Or there's got to be some type of way. The players union open up some type of way where they can get the help that they need. Because this can't happen. There's a lot of people that go in the NFL. They play for 6 years and they have head trauma and they have CTE.
Yeah.
That's the reality. They do have it. But everyone doesn't react the same way Phillip Adams does, obviously. But I mean, where does someone like that that's severely suffering from this thing gets help from? You got to understand, this man he was probably the epitome of his family and his career, because he actually made it to the league.
Right,
he's held up such this high standard, and then he's no longer there. Remember, the checks are no longer coming in. Things start to become a depressive matter like that. It's for some reason around. I don't know what happened in that, but he resulted to this, man, and it's just so unfortunate. It's one of those tales and one of those stories, man, you just don't ever want to read about or hear about.
Yeah, you never want to hear about this, especially anyone. But then when you got kids involved too, I mean, so that's always the toughest part as well. We take that to heart because we're parents, but no, we're humans, right? So we take that to heart. But hopefully for some findings and some clarity to again, hopefully stop this from happening again. But we'll just leave it at that. Right? Another football story. Another not so good football story. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, man.
Deshaun Watson has been going through some things for this has been a long time, right? This has been in the news for a long time. Front page news. There's been a lot of things uncovered There's been a lot of things said, both sides, all sides, and yes or no, rightfully yes or no, it's affecting his money now. Right, because trade talks have
Gone.
right. So
Gone.
now it's affecting his family, his well being, his legacy, and things of that nature. But so let me let you start with it because I'm gonna interject with a couple of things. But just the whole Deshaun, explain to folks that are watching and listening, kind of current state of what's going on with the young man.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the Deshaun Watson story, he's a young man that played quarterback for the Texans. From that situation, he requested a trade from the Texans. He wanted to go to another team. And in the midst of him being traded and all these things, he wanted to command where he wanted to go. Texas obviously wanted him back because he's a great NFL football player. And then once they severed their ties, Deshaun made it very clear he wasn't going to resign with them. Maybe a week or two later, allegations started to come up of sexual assault. And then it was first it was 1, then it was 3. Now it's ballooned all the way to 22 women have claimed sexual assault that he's done to various women across. I believe I'm not sure if it's just in Texas or all over the place. He hasn't been committed of rape. He hasn't been charged of rape. He's been charged of sexual assault. He's been charged with groping and making inappropriate suggestions or approaches to women from what's been said so far. My question is if it's been that expanded and it's been that long, where are the Texans in this? Because I don't know if anyone knows about the NFL. They investigate and do a great job of figuring out any issue that's going on with anybody in the team, especially a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
If there is any allegation, they investigate it to make sure it's either true or not true to resolve it. So my question is, where's their accountability for this? And I say that because let's not forget, several years ago, Tupac Shakur went to jail for not stopping an assault. He didn't assault a woman. He went to jail for not stopping an assault.
Wow! You bring the
why is
story.
Deshaun Watson being crucified? And if the Texans knew about it, how come they are not being tried and accountable in the media? If they knew Deshaun Watson and didn't do anything to stop it or prevent it, how come they didn't intervene at any point? So my question is, Deshaun Watson is 100% wrong. If he's making inappropriate accusations and groping women without their permission, that's wrong. He should be held accountable for that. But I'm saying, where are the Texans, if they knew about this, which I'm pretty sure they probably knew because they hear rumors like everybody else, and 1, 2, 22 is a whole different story.
Yeah.
They've heard something about this situation. How come they didn't do anything to prevent it? So where is their accountability for? How come no one's talking about the Texans in their front office? How come they didn't do anything to do this? As a matter of fact, Texans gave him a massage table. They gave Deshaun Watson a massage table. This man obviously has been had accusations about him groping women during massage sessions, and you give him a massage table? That kind of makes no sense to me. So I'm wondering, like I said, where their accountability is. I believe Deshaun Watson will be tried in the court. That's their job to be able to do that if he's guilty or if he's innocent or whatnot. But I do believe we need to look on the other side, the bigger brother or the people that own the organization. How come they didn't show any accountability for it? If they knew anything about this, they should have been able to intervene, talk to Deshaun, and make sure he doesn't do this inappropriate behavior anymore. Yeah. So I'll leave that that's kind of where I'm at with it. What about you? What about you, James?
I would rather see all of the information come out before getting the court of public opinion, to be honest with you, because a lot of times we'll do that and we'll be incorrect because we don't know all of the stories or we don't know all the situations. We don't know what happened in that man's situation, in that man's massage room, where all of these 22 clients are these 22 women are having issues with, right? So I'm going to hold judgment or anything, and who am I to judge? I'm going to hold anything until it comes out, till we hear from him, till we hear from the women as well, and the situation comes about.
But let me interject. I do have a question for you before you go. I have a question for you. Do you find it odd that all of a sudden these accusations came as soon as he told the Texans he was not going to resign with them at no point?
You know what? Nothing surprises me much anymore with a lot of stuff, and there's a possibility. I'm stammering. I normally don't stammer, right, brother? You know, you got your boy over here stuttering and stammering. Lord have mercy. I'm just going because I don't want nobody coming through on saying something.
I mean, I'm just being,
so let me put so yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm gonna say this. I think it's interesting again that 22 situations come up one right after the other, right when the man says, "I no longer want to be part of the squad." Timing is an issue, right? I mean, circumstance, coincidence. That's the word I'm looking for. Coincidence. Yeah, I don't know about a whole bunch of coincidence. Somebody knew something, and somebody knew about what was jumping off. Agent, GM,
this is the reason why.
Trainer.
This is the reason. Yeah, this is the reason why I said, how did they find 22 women all of a sudden in this situation right when he says no?
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw the caveat on there again. Maybe there was one or two, and they were talking behind the scenes, and next thing you know, I don't know. There was a group text, group chat, group me, whatever the case may be, and everyone got together. Again, I can't even look straight at the camera. I got to look this way. You know, the camera's right here. I can't even look at the camera saying it. I'm gonna stop waffling. I'm gonna say again. I think it's pretty tough that all of these situations come out at a particular time, right when this man says he no longer wants to be a part of your team. He was the franchise player. He was the man behind the center calling plays, things of that nature. You put a lot of trust and faith and money into him, and now he says he doesn't want to be here anymore because we're not winning. And then things start showing up. They may be true. They probably are true. But again, somebody knew about this way ahead of time before dollars and cents got into the situation. Somebody knew about this when there was actually real physical, emotional harm done to either side. And that's when it should have been brought up, as opposed to when it was an opportunity for the organization itself. There you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of relay on that. I'm gonna keep it more. I'm gonna keep it more ghetto.
You gonna bring it? You gonna bring the streets back? You know, I'm trying to, brother.
I will be more ghetto with it. It's real. It is very, very. And wait.
Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Let me start with the NFL. The NFL
drop whatever you want to say.
NFL I mean, come on. The NFL knew about the owner of the Patriots when he was at the soliciting.
Kraft was out there doing his thing. Yeah, Kraft was out there doing some.
Kraft was out there soliciting prostitution. Period. Let's call it what it is. He got off of it. However, he got off of it, but he was doing that. They found out about that. Now, if the NFL can find out about a billionaire that is very crafty about what he does, you mean to tell me they didn't know? Intended. You mean to tell me they didn't know anything regarding Deshaun Watson's behavior going on in Houston, where I'm sure teammates, security people, investigators are all about that. So with that being said, I just find it very, very, very peculiar when he all of a sudden says, you know what, I no longer want to be a part of the franchise. I don't care about how much money you offer me. That all of a sudden we're saying, well, if you're not going to make no money for us, you're not going to make no money for nobody.
Not going to make no money.
And here it goes. Here it goes. We'll spill every tea that's been going on you. Now, again, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. If Deshaun Watson did it, he needs to be held accountable for doing that. Yeah. I'm not excusing that, but I'm saying don't crucify this man all in the media and do all these things when they knew about the same thing he was doing and did nothing to stop it. That's a problem. That's a bigger problem than anything. They knew about it and did nothing to stop it. They let him continue with that behavior as long as he's making money for them.
Wow.
As long as he was a star quarterback, they did nothing to stop it. It's okay for him to do it, but now you're not. We're going to make sure we bring all of this dirt on you. I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big problem with that.
Make it plain, brother. Make it plain. That's a good point.
I mean, if people out there don't like my opinion, I get it. If you don't agree with me, I get that too. Yeah. The way that I look at it, it just looks real shady how everything just gets released all of a sudden when this man says, I don't want to be a part of your organization no more. Now, all the mud starts slinging. And the crazy part, the only person that's being affected is the victims and Deshaun. Where's the organization that knew about this, that pays Deshaun, that knows about it? Where's the organization that helped either cover it up or smother it or make sure it go away? It didn't do anything. How come they're not being held accountable?
Yeah.
Just as much.
Yeah. We every other day something's coming out, right? For and against Deshaun.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm looking at a story. I don't think there's any real court dates set up right now. I just know that there's 22 civil. Regardless, it's now certainty that
His
one of
money
them
will never be the
will
same.
be.
His money will never
Yeah,
be the same ever,
yeah,
ever.
and he's trying to settle all of them, right? All of these 22 situations. So again, yeah,
Yeah.
his long term
But
balance
even signing
sheet
with
is
another team, I
affected.
mean, you got to think him going to another team. It's going to be difficult for them to sign another team because he's a PR nightmare at this point. It's a PR nightmare. If you bring him on, the people that believe the women are on the women's side, you're a person that does is convicted or is at least in public eye convicted of sexual assault or committing sexual assault. So how do you cover that up as an organization trying to bring him on?
No,
But
I wonder about that as well. So yeah,
yeah,
everything that he's accused
he's
of and
built. Yeah,
possibly has done is wrong.
yes,
However, there are folks that have done way worse, and it has been either filmed, recorded.
I agree.
I'm not talking about Rice. I'm talking about the dude, the white
Ben, your boy
linebacker.
Ben Roethlisberger. You want to
No,
talk about him?
not him. Ben acting fool, man. God, God.
Hey, we're
Ben
gonna
need to
talk about.
stop going
I
to the
mean,
club, man. God, man,
there,
and
there's
just worry
there's
about
there's
throwing.
been worse situations, but I'm saying those worst situations are the ones that got over and got out of it. A lot of them are our color. I'll just keep it plain. They're
Well,
not our
so
color.
and so
And,
I was throwing the caveat to that, right?
hmm
And the one again, the one white linebacker who beat up his girlfriend,
Yeah,
his black
yeah.
girlfriend,
hmm
worse because you don't put your hands on a woman, and you just don't. And
hmm
there was video, there was audio, there was hospital reports. We saw the damage that he
Yeah,
inflicted on her. I don't
yeah.
hear nothing
But
about it.
but but see what they done, and this is the mass cover up from the NFL and the media. Hey, we'll cut him from the team and let him disappear off the sunset. Let the law handle that. They won't talk about that. But Deshaun, who they know is a person that's going to be a multi-million maker for those organizations,
Yeah.
we're going to splash him all over and make sure we tarnish him. I'm sorry. I know there's animal lovers. Mike Vick, what he did, I know it was a crime. I know it was bad for animal lovers and people that do that. But Mike Vick didn't deserve to lose everything over those animals. I don't believe. That's my opinion only. Mine only. I don't
Mm-hmm.
expect to vary.
Mm-hmm.
So this man right here, again, sexual assault, very wrong. He'll be tried a criminal, but he's going to lose everything. And I mean, not everything. He'll probably get picked up by another team and get a chance to resurface and make some millions, but he'll never be making the hundreds of millions that he was going to be able to make if they would have just let him go to another team. Deshaun was going to sign a record contract.
Yeah. It's almost like
That's
a Jameis Winston thing, right? So because
yeah,
Jameis Winston acted a fool to said a lot of
yeah,
things that I mean, brother, you can't be
yeah.
you can't be saying some of the things that you're doing. You can't be stealing crab legs, and you can't.
But let's
And
keep it real.
then
Drew Brees can say something out of pocket about Black Lives Matter.
that's
He's
kind of where
fine.
that's exactly where I
Yeah,
was going.
yeah,
So that was
yeah,
literally
yeah.
coming out of the side of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
neck
yeah,
just now.
yeah,
That,
yeah. He can say something out of pocket, and I love Drew Brees. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Drew Brees fan, but he can say
mm-hmm,
something out of pocket, and his money's going to be always fine. Other players, the great Brett Favre said stuff out of pocket. He was fine. They can get away with it and do things and be out of pocket and still be okay. Ben, I know Ben Roethlisberger's your guy at Pittsburgh, but Ben's done some outlandish things
no,
to
no,
women,
no, yeah, yeah, and
and
I completely.
they covered it all the way up, and he still was able to make hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be in that same program. I don't think they're going to be. This is just going to be a wash away thing because we're in the era of football where it's big time money for a franchise quarterback. We're not talking about 50 million no more. We're talking hundreds
Yeah,
of millions.
yeah,
So now, and I believe that the Texans are in a situation where they're not going to win. They're not going to sell a lot of seats. We're coming out of COVID where those guys lost a lot of money in the NFL because there was no fans in the seats.
mm-hmm.
Your biggest player is leaving, and I'm gonna be honest, human. Owner's bitter. GM is bitter. You're
Well,
not
your
coming back.
biggest player already left because Watt is already gone.
Watt's
and
gone, and
right,
Deshaun's your face of your franchise on the
yeah,
offense, so
yeah,
he's ready to go. So he's losing everything, and he grabbed onto this. Again, don't get me wrong. If Deshaun did it, he should be held accountable. But I know for a fact. Well, I shouldn't say I know. I'm almost 99% sure the organization knew about it.
yeah. Oh
22
no,
women, they knew
they knew.
something. They knew
When you
something.
talking dollars and cents at this level,
Yeah,
when you talking
they,
grown folk money like this, yeah, they
yeah,
know, right?
they know.
He's got handlers, he's got watchers, everyone on the on the A squad, right?
Yeah,
Everyone that's
yes.
taking the first team reps
Yeah,
has
yeah. So,
someone.
so why would so if you know about something like this, like me, if me and me know about a crime and we do nothing to prevent or stop it, we could be charged with a crime, right? Am I?
Yeah.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
law.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yet they know about a crime, did nothing
Mm.
about it, and they're okay. And let's just smear his. Let's launch the smear campaign. You know, or the in the accusation. Like I said, I don't know. I'm following it very loosely about the Deshaun because, like you said, I really want to wait till all the facts. I want to wait till his lawyer gets his court and they
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
settle everything because
Mm-hmm.
that brings out everything in that certain instances. But from what they're presenting, man, it seems like one of the girls said it wasn't about the money, but yet she texted Deshaun about she wanted to get paid $100,000 to keep her mouth shut. It's just so much going back and forth that I don't know what's true or what's not true. But again, if he put his hands on a woman unwarrantedly or he made those suggestive comments, Deshaun 100% wrong.
Yeah.
That's just the facts.
Yeah. We'll see. Not looking forward to reading because just don't like reading all this bad news all the time. But God, I would love to just have an episode where we talk none but good news. None but just will it ever happen? Who knows with the state of the world? But man, this is so moving on. But golly. Man, some of these stories take the emotion, right? Take a lot of stress.
Oh yeah, man.
You need to start coming with a drink or something. We need to start having sponsorships.
Man.
I do the lab with Tall Boy, and he's got his Minute Maid. We're not sponsored yet. Who knows what I could be drinking? Just some dark liquors or whatever the case may be. But we need to figure out a way to get. Somebody to get some sponsorships going.
We need to get that Gatorade Powerade money around here.
We need to get somebody to come through. What's that vitamin water? Is that the one that 50 Cent got his vitamin?
Yeah, man. He was down with vitamin water. We need to get some of that Coca-Cola money. That's all good. So.
I'll drink some Coke. Give me cut a check if you want to. Cut it. We will drink vitamin water I'll have all it laid. I'll have it all over the place too.
Shirt, hat, and drinking it all at the same time.
I'll be swagged out. Man. Baseball is back.
Ooh. Yes.
Man, I don't care what people. Look, let me tell you something. I love baseball, brother. I grew up. I played baseball for all my life. Coached it a little bit. Wasn't too bad. I wasn't too bad. Back in the day, it was a long time ago. But we've got mutual acquaintances that did some things in baseball too, and I know it's a slower paced game, but there's the mentality of it, the mental piece of it. Just the strategy of it. Baseball's back. There's fans in the stands. Tell me what you feel about that, brother. God.
I mean. It's a catch-22. I'm excited. And this is catch-22. 22 is on the back. It's on the lighter side on the 22.
Okay.
First side, I'm happy. Baseball's back. Fans are back. Things are starting to kind of get to that normalcy. And the competitive part of baseball, it is what it is. I'm happy to see those guys doing it. Those professionals out there. I believe, me personally, there's nothing like going to a baseball game on the afternoon. Seeing those people drink their beer, eat their hot dogs, and laughing and giggling, and a ball hits your way, and you try to catch it.
Oh, see, that's cool. You looking at them too? I'm with my bag of peanuts. Just waiting for someone to get hit in the head you better pay attention to these foul balls.
Now my 22 side, what I was saying, the part of this 22 is, man, we're still not over COVID. We're still not there, and I think this is we're still at that period where everyone's not vaccinated. People still not trying to wear masks. It's a big social event. Mm-hmm. So I should say catch-22. I'm just leery and I'm scared of that situation, man, because I don't want to go back to the other way, man, where there's no sports. I really don't.
Yeah.
I want fans to continue to be able to go and enjoy and do the things they do. But that part makes me nervous, especially when you see a Texas Rangers game and they're sold out already. And things weren't, we're not even, the vaccines aren't caught up and people are not wearing masks. It's scary. It's just scary, man, because I don't want to go back to the old way.
Yeah.
With no fans and all that stuff. So, but I'm happy it's back, man. I'm so happy to see people out there people enjoying themselves. I'm not a big baseball player, or I'm a fan of when something's hot going on, the no hitters and all that good stuff, and the guys hitting home runs. But I'm excited about just the ambience of having baseball back. It's
Yeah.
summertime. If I want to go to a game when I don't even care if I'm a fan or not. I go to the game because I can see the people there and they enjoying it, and the grass. You can smell the grass just being
Yeah.
cut, and the baseballs flying and foul balls and all that stuff, and everybody standing up for the seventh inning and singing and all.
Yeah, see,
all
those,
that stuff,
those are the
man.
things,
Yeah,
right?
all
So,
them things,
see,
man. Yeah.
that's where you bring your family to, and you're like, seventh inning stretch, go get me some popcorn and a hot dog and a Coke, and it'll be $30. What?
Yeah, it's $30, but you know what? You better expect to spend that kind of money when you're there. But I mean, it's always a good moment, I think, in baseball, and it's just great. Like I said, I think that ambiance is great to have it back. I'm hoping that everybody gets vaccinated and they can fill up again. And I appreciate baseball because they're setting the tone for other sports like basketball, starting to
Yeah,
let people back in.
yeah.
Football, when it comes back, they'll start letting people back in. So I believe baseball has set the tone. I just don't want it to get out of control and wildfire so fast that we're not able to catch up with the vaccines and people get caught with the COVID no more.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I was driving around town today, and some of the little leagues are back, right? So they're out there, and there's a lot of no mask type folks in my area, and it's unfortunate because they were out there today, or the other day when I saw them out there playing, and that's a problem, right? Because you got your youngsters out there, and you intermingling with a whole bunch of folks that aren't part of your core unit, and you're coughing, spitting, yelling, and doing all this, and whatever the case may be. So I see it. I would not be surprised if there's a spike just in my county and just in my area, just because, again, everyone's just ready to get back to something.
Yeah,
and when when the kids were out there practicing, it was cool because it was just them practicing. They still had their mask on, and the parents were away. But now they're playing, and everybody's coming, and folks are just walking down the street and seeing a ball game going. So, like you said, oh my gosh, baseball's back, so I want to go check it out. So you got all kind of folks intermingling, but the organized piece of the major league sports, again, starting with baseball, just because they're the first one in the calendar year. Hopefully they get it right in terms of spacing, percentage of folks that they'll let into these stadiums and into these arenas and things like that. So that'll triculate down into basketball and football when that comes back around. But just getting, and hopefully the Olympics will learn from all of this, right? Because look, man, the world is waiting for that, and we would really be in a hurt. It would just really hurt a lot.
If we had the proposal in the Olympics because of COVID, you'd be like, man, the world can't compete against each other because of COVID. So, like I said, that's my catch-22 on it. It's like, man, I'm glad it's so back. I'm excited, and I'm excited to see everybody playing. And I don't even follow baseball, but I'm excited to see everybody playing. But then I look at it, and I'm looking at the stands. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of people in that stadium with no mask on or just cheering and drinking beer.
Rubbing up on each other, I don't know you.
High fives with the baseball. There ain't no hand sanitizer, none of that going on. So I'm just like, yo, man, please, we can't have another outbreak because I do not want to go back to where there's no fans. I want to keep this momentum going. So I just hope we're all careful.
I agree.
And be good and be good, straight and go ready to go.
I agree. So talk to me a little bit about your neck of the woods. How's it going since we're talking about the vaccines and COVID and outbreaks? How's it going down in Southern Cal right now?
We're actually dropping. So it's starting to drop now. The tier, I believe even Los Angeles County is going to open up to, I think, the orange tier, which they can have a lot more people this corner, either the orange or yellow tier. So they're the dropping. There's a lot more vaccinations. Schools are starting to prepare to try to open back up again. I know now the vaccination is now everywhere and they're going to approve it for 16 years and older, coming up really, really soon. So now student bodies are going to be able to go get it. So I'm all for it. It's something inevitable. I think everyone needs to get ready because this is going to be a permanent thing. I think it's going to be like the flu shot, the COVID shot you're going to have to get every year. It's going to be something every year that you have to get and contend with it. I believe for kids that are going to college, like your daughter and my son, I think they're going to have the vaccination before they step foot on campus. I think some campuses are already starting that. Rutgers is like the first one to already implement. You can't come back until you have the vaccination. So things are slowly but surely starting to happen. Southern California is getting better and better. But you know what? It's going to be scary here because what comes with summertime here? People that come vacation in the beach.
Yeah.
So we have a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of tourism come here. So it may not be the people that are locally here that have it, but it could be someone coming from somewhere else and brings it, or we can give it to them and they take it back to where they're going, and vice versa. But I mean, we have a lot of tourism that goes up and down, the coastline of Southern California. So, it's cool. We just got to deal with it and
Yeah.
understand. I hope people just be safe and careful about it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So y'all folks from Minneapolis trying to beat the cold. Don't why am I picking on my Minneapolis peeps? Don't be going to L.A. area and spreading the COVID around. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah, if you got to stay where you at. Stay where you at, man.
Stay in the house.
Yeah, don't bring it, man. Quarantine yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm halfway through with my shots. I got one. I think I get my other one. This week coming up. So everyone in my house is fully vaccinated. Got their 2 shots, and I'm the only one that's still struggling, but tracking behind. But
you a bad brother, man. You a bad man. I'm one of the skeptical ones, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm one of the ones like I'm gonna wait till everybody else get it before I get mine.
It's all right. It's all right. And that's the conversation to have, right? I mean, especially folks of color, right? We've had unfortunate circumstances and unfortunate situations, the Tuskegee experiment, things like that. So I had to have some of that dialogue with folks within my circle as well. But this is legit. Only thing, it stung for a little bit, a couple of days after. Your arm get a little heavy. I'm gonna let you know when you get yours. I'm just letting you know.
Let's be real. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it because it's inevitable, and you have to. I'm going to get it. Yeah. I'm just one of them dudes that's prolonging it as long as I can until my wife is like, "Yo, now's the day.
It's that time. It's that time.
Yeah, we going." So
you think you go to the supermarket, right? You think you go to the store and get something to eat, and no, baby, let's go and turn up in here. Why we going to Kai's?
We're going under this tent real quick.
why we going over here? And everybody got on mask and what's going on here?
But see, the thing is, though, the good thing about it, man, I think to myself, and I've been lagging a little bit, but I typically wear my mask still. I still typically sanitize my hands, so I do all the protocol we're supposed to do beforehand. But I've just been, one is 2 things. I'm scared of needles. I can't stand needles, and 2, I'm still a little leery about the vaccine. We have short-term data, but we don't have long-term data on this vaccine and what it does. So I was like, okay, well, since we don't have long-term data, let me stretch it until we can get as further as we can. Why I gotta go get it?
Why I gotta be at the front of the line? Let me be like 75%
in. I'm cool. Let me rock to the back to see what anything. Make sure they come up.
I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you. It's all good. If more folks who were on the fence had your attitude about it, understood that. Look towards the science piece of it as opposed to, again, just the urban legend piece and the stereotype piece and all that. I mean, if more folks kind of came at it from your perspective, I think we'd be at herd immunity. So I appreciate you and props to you on your stance, brother. So
man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. 100%. I'm just
you gonna be up in there like this, right? You go.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna bring my little stick to bite down on it and turn my head and let them shoot me with it, and I'm gonna be all good with that, man. But
and they're gonna be like, we done. They're gonna be like, we done. We didn't already gave it to you.
And I'll be like, cool, you should. That's what you should have been doing. But first thing, I was joking with my wife. I'm like, man, first thing I'm gonna ask him is there a way I could take it orally instead of them pop me with that needle.
Have you got this in some juice? Can a brother take some Kool-Aid for this?
They can take a spoonful real quick. Yeah, man.
Can I get this in some juice?
please, if there's anybody listening, man, I'm not against it. The vaccination. We're all gonna have to get it. We're all gonna have to get it in order to survive. So I'm just one. I'm a procrastinator.
It's all good,
and I joke about it a lot, but I mean it is a serious issue, man. We need to get back. My mom and them are vaccinated; they're already taking care of it.
Nice.
I'm the one that's lagging, man. It's an individual thing.
It's all right, it's all right. You come around, you'll get yours. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on the Matrix, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get down with it. I'm coming.
I love it. Where we going? Let's talk about. We got a couple of football stories to talk about. Mm-hmm. We haven't talked about the NBA. We talked around the NBA. We talk. Let's talk about that, right? And then kind of close out with the football. But NBA is doing their thing without a lot of stars, A lot of
Yep.
stars are down and out right now, right?
Yep.
You got everybody from the Lakers. You got the second team out there right now, and they're winning.
They won. They won last yesterday. I don't know if
Well,
they win it.
well,
They won. They won yesterday.
they're staying in playoff contention without
Yeah.
AD and LeBron. And who came back? KD came back the other night.
Yep.
So I mean that's
Looks
always
good.
good to see Kevin Durant out there doing his thing. I wish Kevin Durant. I love him. I wish he would eat some more.
Oh man,
My brother's
brother,
too.
you need to get in the weight room, man. You need to get in that weight room for sure.
He's too, and I need him to stay off of social media too because
Oh,
he takes everything on Twitter and everything personal. So I need him to just focus. But who am I to talk?
Brother need to read a book, man. You need to read a book and stay off of that.
Yeah, put that iPhone down. Don't worry about the TikTok and the hate out there. Just worry about what you got to do. But talk to us a little bit about that, man. I mean, again, NBA is trying to do their thing, but they're doing it without against star players. So
I think that's okay. Yeah, I've been watching NBA. I mean, I follow it. I mean, obviously being in Southern California, the Clippers and the Lakers are always on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Bay Area teams. Oh, I should say I love the Bay Area, the Golden State Warriors, and I love SAC. I don't want to confuse people. Oh, that ain't the Bay Area. I love the Northern California team as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the NBA is doing just what the NBA does, man. They've always been able to adapt and adjust to times and situations that go on. If the LeBron is not the star of the team, they're gonna find somebody else to feature and to make them the star or make them shine a little bit. So I think they've been able to be successful in doing that. I think the turnaround time I think is starting to affect people. The quick turnaround from the bubble situation they had last year to then have to get into the season right away.
Yeah.
I think that's been a kind of effect on a lot of guys' health. I mean, I don't think people understand the rest you need. I mean, you got to play 82 games post playoffs. It's a lot of basketball you playing in your body, and then someone had to play Olympics or summer league, and then turn around and get right back to the lead of the high competitive. I think that's where a lot of the injuries are coming in. But man, the NBA is the NBA. They're gonna make money. They're gonna do the right thing. They're gonna make stuff happen.
Yeah.
And I think that they're just showing how good they are, how resilient they are as far as their business structure is concerned.
Right.
Now I think it's gonna be different when the fans come in because I think guys play different when fans are there. That 6 man that they always talk about, that crowd screaming and yelling and heckling you and all that stuff.
That's real. That's
real.
real. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game than it is when you playing when there's no seats, nobody in it, like it's a gym. like you playing in the regular league. It's completely different.
When you just AAU or but shouts out to the D League too. But when you actually got some real folks in the audience, that's
you
true.
You got 50,000 people yelling at you, screaming and booing and all that. It's a different kind of game. So I'm interested to see when they get to the playoffs. If it's all opened up, how that 6 man affects guys that's been playing with no fans all year. Will that be an effective factor? I mean, I think some guys are going to rise because they feed off of that, and some guys may not so feed off of it because it's going to be a bigger distraction. Remember that stadium is hotter because there's people in there, is breathing, is yelling, it's noise. They playing in a situation where it's not this. So I'm wondering how that transition. I'm just wondering how that transition is going to happen. I hope it works out for the best, but I'm curious. That's going to be a good thing to kind of see how it evolves.
And I'm trying to think out loud here. Were there more fans in Indianapolis for the NCAA tournaments? Right, because there was a lot of energy in those arenas during when they were playing, and I don't know if it's just again because it's literally larger place, right? So you can spread people around or whatever the case may be. And with NCAA, you got folks literally on the court, the teams, as opposed to anywhere else. So, but you're right? When you actually got someone that you're playing for, and not just the TV monitors, and you hear someone booing you, and you hear someone, you got someone with the waving the things in front of you while you're trying to shoot a free throw. I mean that hypes up a lot lot of folks. And
it's just a different thing. I mean, I hear kids always say, I want to play in front of fans. Okay, well, you got to think for a year you haven't been playing in front of no fans.
Yeah.
For a year you've been playing for no fans, and all of a sudden that's like me taking you, James. Our podcast only got 100 people, and now we're on the spotlight at College Day, and there's 7,000 people looking at us talking. There's a different energy, a different thing. So I cannot imagine these guys going from playing in a gym with maybe 100 people, just your family there, to now you go into a stadium filled with 25,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people,
crazy,
screaming either screaming for you or against you.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Where does your energy level go? Does it go up? Do you drain yourself because you're so pumped up? Are you out by the end of the first quarter because you're so hyped up? I mean, I think that's gonna be more of the roller coaster I'm excited to see about the playoffs of the NBA. As far as the NBA in general, it is what it is, man. When the star goes down, another star rises. So it's
That's
gonna be
true, and
all good.
we've kind of seen that, right? We've kind
Hmm.
of seen it. So I mean, there hasn't been a lack of the excitement. There hasn't been a lack of the plays. You still got a lot of the old school dudes doing their thing.
Hmm.
Your CP3, I heard a good story about him the other day. So I mean,
Yeah.
you got Tatum. I mean, you got the dudes out there in Boston doing some things. I mean, everyone's still putting up big numbers. You
Yep.
got
Yep.
your MVP conversation with Giannis. You got your MVP. You got
Embiid, Harden, LeBron, but all those guys have been hurt. So I think Jokic might be the
That's
MVP
what I'm
right
thinking
as of
about.
right
Jokic.
now.
That's the name I was trying to
Yeah,
think of.
yeah,
Jokic. I
yeah.
mean, come
Jokic might
on.
be the MVP. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He don't look like he can play
that's,
basketball, but the dude could. That
he
dude
has
could
got
hoop.
he has got no 1-2
Yeah.
tone, right? I mean, he just but again, 7 feet something, and he can still make it
Yeah,
happen. I
he
mean,
can
just
hoop. That dude.
cleans up
That
everything.
that dude is a baller. But you look at him. But I'm saying if y'all look at him, you be like, yo, this dude
Like
don't look.
what?
He look like he's just a big dude just standing there. Dude can
What are
hoop.
you doing here? But hey, you know what? Each to each their own, and that's why we love the
Yeah.
sport because everyone fits in where they get in. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
all good. Yeah, like I said, that's it's good times there. Let me throw this up. You've been put on blast here, brother. Get your shot, wear your mask. Because I got some family here that found out not too long ago that they mess around and got it. So they in
Uh,
quarantine right now. So we trying to get them right, and we'll see how that works out. But
oh, that's for me. That's for me. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that one. I'll take
yeah,
that one
yeah,
on the chin. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I'm with that one. I hear you.
it's
I'm hearing
all
loud
good.
and clear on that one.
It's all good. We don't have to repeat ourselves. Um, the Rock is
Yes.
is Wayne Johnson is a decent dude. From
He's a dude, man.
I don't know him, but look, you know
He
what? He's a decent dude. He's
that
trying to
dude
do some
making
things.
he making some moves. So it hasn't got a lot of press. I know a lot of people haven't talked about it, but The Rock is in the process of merging the XFL with the CFL with the Canadian Football League. That I don't think people understand how huge that is for that second tier market of professional football players and fans and everything going on. That's going to be a whole nother avenue that will change the platform of how I think college football people are coming out,
Yeah,
and even how the NFL is shaped, because now there's going to be an exchange of players. When you get too older, you get cut from the NFL. This is going to be the alternate league that you can go participate in. That doesn't look like the XFL where it looks like, oh, it may be just 707, or this is going to be an actual 11-11, and probably the first or I would say international, but definitely by country sport. The U.S. will be playing in Canada, and Canada will be playing in the U.S. vice versa. So this is huge, man. I think this is
yeah.
huge, and I wish it would get more press. But this man, The Rock. If it looks like if anybody's going to compete with NFL, he's looking to throw his hat in and go for it, and go for a fight against those guys.
I mean, for a while, all the other side leagues, right, couldn't do it.
Failed. Yeah.
They couldn't garner the fans. They couldn't come up with the funding
Mhm.
because what was his name? The guy from WWE tried to do some things.
Yeah.
Back in the
And that's
day.
who Rock brought it.
Yeah,
That's who Rock brought it. Vince McMahon. He bought the XFL from
that's
Vince
right.
McMahon, the rights
But
from them.
he wasn't the right person though to make
No.
this big of a business deal, right?
Hmm.
Vince McMahon
Yep.
was all about entertainment. He was all about let me have the firecrackers going off in the middle of the game. let me have all the other pomp and
Yeah.
circumstance.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson talk about let's play some real ball here and let's compete with the same caliber as
Yep.
the National Football League, and by merging these two organizations together, bringing in his sponsors, bringing in his name and his brand, which is for the most part pretty much on point, pretty much
Yeah.
impeccable.
Hmm.
I don't know if everyone's got blemishes, but I don't know of too
I haven't
many
heard anything. So
that
yeah,
are out there
exactly.
on this dude, right? I
Yeah.
follow him on social media, and he's talking about his family. All he does is work out.
Hmm.
All he does is make money.
Yeah, I think the thing we see a lot of the issues with those other leagues that failed is real estate. And what I mean by real estate, they had no place to play.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
so you got to
yeah,
think there's only one NFL stadium in each area, most likely, unless you're like in New York. But there's usually only one NFL stadium. So NFL is definitely going to give their stadium to a competitor. Doesn't work. That would just counterproductive. So it's always been real estate. With this merger, it gives them real estate in Canada where they're going to play because those Canadian stadiums are already built there, and where the XFL played were kind of different offshoot stadiums.
Yep.
Or they went with stadiums that the NFL's guys did not own.
Mm-hmm.
They were owned by the city. So he's strategically planning where, hey, if the XFL takes off and it does what it's supposed to, we'll have stadiums we can occupy in the United States and have stadiums we can occupy in the Canadian League. Play these players a pretty good fee into the when the league loads up, and now it's all about the advertisement dollars and that stuff from that point on.
Yeah.
Now the money starts to kick in. But I like it for the standpoint that get guys in to play college football, Division I, II, III, NAIA. Now we'll also have an additional platform to take their skills to the next level and earn themselves a little bit more money, where the NFL is not the all and all be all.
Yeah.
Now you have another alternative that you can kind of go to, which, man, that's just a huge step. More football for football fans, I think. And The Rock putting his stamp on it, him as being a businessman, along with the CFL commissioner putting their stamp on it, I think this is going to be a win-win situation. Because even if you don't blow up in the United States, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty big in Canada.
Oh yeah. Oh,
to see American players and American football in Canada is going to be huge.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I wanted to tie these two stories together, and one about the Justin Fields one as well, right? I mean, just again, because we're talking about the draft, and again, all these players were phenomenal at their level, at their rank, at in their systems, whatever the case may be. But 1-2% of folks make it to the NFL. Right, irregardless of how good you are at throwing the ball, running the ball, kicking the ball, whatever the case may be. Now you got this another quality option that don't sleep on this option, right? Don't sleep on a merged CFL XFL option, because again, you're bringing in the right resources again from a business perspective. So you're going to have the advertising, you're going to have the revenue coming in from that, and that's where it all is. Look, everybody just wants their jersey. They just want their name on the back of a jersey being sold and getting a cut of that, right? You want your likeness sold. You want to be on the cover of Madden, NCAA or NFL, whatever that is, right? That's where you want to get your money, and you want to get your liquor reference or in your shoe deal. Yeah, you want to go out there and play the game too, and make some money off of that, and win championships. But now again, kind of like we're saying, there's more than one option, and folks can actually go out there and do something. So hopefully this is encouraging, and I don't know, I hope this is encouraging for folks in like a Justin Fields' perspective, who are now getting ready to maybe sign them checks, and the folks who are close on that border who maybe did make that high draft pick and maybe saying, you know what, I don't want to go in the NFL. I may want to go play a bit. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, that's kind of far fetched, but
I have even a better perspective. I'm hoping that like the Justin Fields and the Mahomes and them invest in this league and buy teams to become ownerships in these leagues.
Okay.
Because we're not going to get a piece of the pie in the NFL as owners.
Wow, that's thinking about that's a whole. Talk to me about that. That's thinking. Now you're talking about real wealth.
I'm hoping Mahomes and these other people, whether white, black, or green, I don't care. But Mahomes just comes to my mind. Mahomes or Jerry or Allen over in Buffalo, the guys that are making money, Dak Prescott, that are making money now. Hope those guys invest in this league to own their own franchises over there. So now we can have some wealth in their own franchises. They can help coordinate and build those. Let's be honest. We're not going to get to the NFL level. I don't care what league. The NFL has a monopoly on football. They're a billion-dollar industry. Now, but if you don't mind being that second tier and being that $100 million, $300 million industry, you can build that up, give young men another opportunity to develop their skills, to hopefully go to the NFL, make a little bit of coin and retire. But now we can own those teams. And as they grow, hopefully one day it can be a competitor in the NFL. We have ownership, whether it be black, white, Mexican, or whatever ownership. But now we can get some guys that could never get their foot in the door to get some majority ownership in a professional organization to help take it over the top. That's the way I'm hoping. I hope the Rock and them visualize it that way. I hope the Master P's of the world that has money invest in the team. I hope we can now get some ownerships in those teams, in those organizations, and help pump this thing up to be a competitor with the NFL. But you got to be able to crawl before you can walk. So now let's just take it to baby steps and get those guys in there, build it up the way it's supposed to be. And if it explodes, If it just many pops, that's better than it never popped at all. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a great pop for him. But I'm hoping those guys kind of take that avenue. You know, Darren Fox, if you out there at Sacramento Kings, but go on your football team in the XFL.
You got some cash in the savings account. My savings and my checking.
Yeah, but I'm hoping guys like Kevin Hart and those guys, all of them become minority owners in this thing. Now we have the things we were complaining about in the NFL, like no blacks ever owning teams or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Rockets present a whole situation where I think we can become owners. We can start to build those things. We can start to build. I hear people, why are we playing for the league? We should build our own league. Well, this is an opportunity for us to build our own league if that's what we choose to do. But I mean, the big thing, the guys with big money can gather some ownership in this league and help develop it a little more while playing in the NFL. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to play for the team organization because you own them. You just own them and have a say-so in the way the equity is dispersed and what you're going to get on the team and so on. So, and I think the other part we're missing about the whole thing, there's a whole nother revenue stream for coaching to go in that. Administration is going to go in that league. Mm-hmm. Graphic designers are going to go in that league. Internet people are going to go. All that's going to go in that league. Communications, for headphone. There's a lot that's going to be invested in that league. I'm hoping that we get a chance to get our hands on the ground floor and be able to build the whole revenue. We should have some Jerry Joneses in that league.
Yes,
we should have some guys in that league as well. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint. I hope it's being built and portrayed that way, because if it is, man, it's a win-win for all of us.
That's a good point. I mean, while you were saying that, I was thinking about Cube, right, and his 3-on-3 league, and I know that's still moving, and I know that's still successful, but get folks like that who have a couple of dollars to contribute, and again, the Baron Davises and the Master P's that were out there already talking about building franchises and things like that. Just those types of folks. Jay-Z's out there trying to. So I mean, the folks that. And I'm mentioning those particular names because I'm saying the folks that our youngsters look up to. They look up to their parents as well, but they're the ones who they try to emulate, or they say these are successful folks, look like big, but they got some money as well, and doing these positive things. So if the Baron Davises, Master P's, Jay-Z, Ice Cubes, X, Y's, and Z's, all those folks can do something like that, pull these resources together. And bring us with him, right? Bring some folks. Let us get a shot at like Tyler Perry will do, right?
Right. He's another one. I mean, why isn't Tyler Perry should own the Atlanta franchise or something like that? I believe the NFL has its lock, but there's room for another league, another good league, and that league is the first step to a global league, right, for football. If you have it in the United States and you have it in Canada, that opens the doors to be able to play somewhere else, because you're already crossing the border to be able to participate in professional sports.
Yeah,
I think if that's successful, again, NFL's making billions. There's nothing wrong with us making 100 million. Us making 300 million that year. That's as long as we make that in revenue, and we gross that up, we're good. If that's our bottom line. So I think it's got to be baby steps. It can't be, hey, we're going to get immediate dividends. It's going to take some time. But I mean, if you can utilize and market entertainers and utilize and market ex players that people look up to, have them invest their dollars in it, that people are going to buy into the brand. And me personally, I hope they keep it off season of the NFL. And me, I would even keep it open. So you play in this merge league, you ball up. If you want to be able, if the NFL's calling you, go. I don't mind I'm gonna tell you right now, people don't understand. Farm league baseball is $1 billion business. Baseball's $1 billion. Baseball's $1 trillion business, right? That's up there. Major League Baseball. Farm league is $1 billion. People go to Durham to go watch those guys play. People go down to Arizona to watch all those farm teams play and compete against each other. Why do you think they have farm teams A, B, C? Single league, double league, because that's money generated all the way up, and they're getting guys developed and they go to the major leagues. There's nothing wrong with being that $1 billion league at the triple level, single level, double level. I think it could be the same way in the NFL. There's nothing wrong with being the B league to the NFL, long as you're making money at the end of the day.
That's true. Long as it's equitable. Long as it's equitable, and folks are having the opportunity. I really like that. So
so I'm hoping we get an opportunity for ownership and play. So I'm all with. I'm good with it.
Who you with, boy? Who you? That's what I'm talking about. I'm working on my sounds just to make sure that I get the right ad libs in.
You You need to get that Sanford and Son. So get the Sanford and Son next time. You put that on in there.
Next week I'll have a little Red Fox on here for sure.
Yeah, be some Red Fox on there, man. But no, but I think that's just a golden opportunity for our young up and coming entrepreneurs and millionaires that we have, especially people of color. I think this is going to be an avenue for them to invest in professional organization and have a real say. Not just, hey, I'm a minority owner or, and I don't really have anything to do. I'm the top dog. Votes have to come through me when it comes to the board of directors, kind of like they do in the NFL. And I believe the XFL CFL merger will be, man, a wide range hit. I think it will be a hit. I think it'll be a hit.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I hope it's getting close, right? It's a pretty big deal, and the fact that it's actually so close to actually possibly happening is pretty encouraging for everyone that's involved financially and emotionally and all that. But us fans again see nothing but positive out of this. So hopefully something like this does come through. So. Bro, we touched everything on the planet. We talked about golf. We talked about about your boy Hideki out there going and getting his thing. We talked baseball, basketball.
Got me on the COVID, everything. Y'all,
we got you getting your shots and everything. We got
everything jumping off, man. So no, man, it's a blessing, and I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad we could touch some of these issues for the people out there, whether they hear it live or they hear it simulcast or recorded. But you're more the filter. I'm more of a guy that's going. I'm trying to just kind of shoot what I got to shoot, and get it off. So I think that it's therapeutic as well as informative.
That's what it's all about. And let's we should talk and see what the audience thinks as well. Timing wise, right? It's 4:00 p.m. Pacific time on a Sunday. Is that a good time? Because a lot of times. Family matters happen. Yeah, we want to keep a consistent schedule, but I can't be filming on Mother's Day. I can't. I can't be filming on Easter. Those kinds of things, right? I'm not getting kicked out of my own house.
I feel you, man. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
So we'll consider that, and folks, give us your commentary for sure on that. But I love the fact that we bounce off of each other, and then at the end of the day, hopefully we enlighten, entertain, and educate folks out there.
Absolutely. Well, we closing on out, man. Just DMX, man. Rest in peace.
Man. Look, I tell you, if I didn't get a YouTube strike, I'd play some of his cuts. But y'all. Take care of each other as well. So from that perspective, right, the fact that we lost this man, we definitely should not have, like Laura Williams said at the beginning, check on your people. But outside of that, Brother Martell, I'm checking in on you. Be good, brother.
You too, man.
Late.